Hey everybody, it's Brooke. Welcome back to another episode of the A Knit Soul podcast. My name is Brooke and I am the owner and dyer behind Fully Spun, where I hand dye roving and have it spun at a mill to create a color effect similar to hand spun, and where I also dye yarn and other traditional dyeing methods for all of the color lovers out there. Today is an exciting day because my normal co-host is back to join us. Unlike normal, he wasn't running to come say hi, but since he's been gone for so long, I thought I would let him say hi to you guys. Since I had a foot surgery, I couldn't walk him for 6 weeks, so he was with my sister and her dog Loki, and so now he's back with me where he belongs. So I'm happy about it. Hopefully he's happy about it too. But it's really nice to have my snuggle buddy back. Alright, in Fully Spun news, we just had the Fibronate show, which went really well. I will be vending at Shenandoah, which I will be dyeing all the yarn for that over the next couple weeks. I'm planning to have a ton of yarn for that show, so hopefully if you are local to the DMV area, as always, hopefully you can make it, or if you're traveling from farther away, that would be really awesome to see you there too. I will also be doing the Frederick Fiber Fest in October, on October 13th, as well as doing a trunk show at Two Rivers Yarns at the end of October. So hopefully I can see you guys at one of those many locations, and I will keep you guys updated as I add more shows to my list. Alright, so no finished objects this week, no surprise there. I don't tend to have a lot of time for knitting, but I do try to spend a good amount of time knitting. So this week, first, I pulled my blanket out again. I have finished the first quarter of it. So this is the Hue Shift Afghan by Karen Demiler-Lawrence, and this is a kit from Knit Picks that my sister brought me. The yarn is Brava Sport, and so I finished my first square. So one thing with this square, which I didn't pay attention to, if you look, and I have it the wrong way, but if you look, the pink row, the pink is on the outside all the way over, and then the next row, the red is on the outside, but then going to left to right, it changes colors. So what I was supposed to do is have it sort of create a, for the colors to go in. So the red should go from here, and then the dark purple should have gone straight down and then across. And that creates a cool pattern in the finished object, but I didn't pay attention to that part, so I'm going with how I started for how I work on the next one. So I also started the next quarter of the blanket, and so started with some pretty not my favorite color combinations, but as a whole it'll be great, and so I just am working on the second square on that. I thought I had 3 works in progress, but it looks like I just have 2. So I started my Igbo cardigan by We Are Knitters, and I had to make a lot of adjustments to the pattern. So the pattern, one, it is, I think because they sell straight needles only, they must construct their patterns to be able to be knit with straight needles unnecessarily, especially with a yarn that's this bulky. A seam in this yarn is going to be pretty substantial. So what I did, I modified it. I had to add inches because my size is, I'm a 48 inch bust, and I think the large size was meant for a 41 inch bust. And the actual large garment size was 45 inches. So I added some stitch counts to accommodate for that, and then I also modified so that I am knitting the back and fronts at the same time, and then when I get to the shoulder, I'll separate, knit them separately, and also decrease the stitches I added so that at the shoulder it's the same as it should be. Because I did not add stitches to the back because my back measurement matched the garment back measurement. So having extra stitches at the top could make it come too high. So I haven't figured out the decreases yet because this is a bit of a complex pattern, but I figured that once I got there, I kind of have the pattern in my brain and I could easily modify. So issue number 2 is that the pattern is written in literally the most confusing way possible. I actually Googled the stitch pattern, and the instructions that came up were very simple and easy to follow. So I went with those instructions. So basically the pattern was a waste, and because I thought the stitch pattern was so cool, that's mostly why I went ahead and bought the sweater. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm still gonna, I think, enjoy the sweater. Of course, the yarn is as I expected. I don't know if you can see how fuzzy it is already just from knitting with it. I did have to frog a little bit because I made a mistake, but it's definitely not gonna stay pristine. It's definitely gonna be a fuzzy sweater, and probably once I start wearing it will have pills, but that's okay. I'm gonna like it anyway. So this is knit with the wool, which is Peruvian Highland wool, so it's not super wash, so it will felt, and then also because it's a single ply, it will be fuzzy, and it also will probably pill too. Alright, up next, acquisitions. I lost my entire mind at the Fibronate show this weekend and went shopping way too much, but that's okay. That's how these things go, and it was fun and I enjoyed myself. My first purchase was from Wandering Wool, and I purchased these 2 skeins of yarn. This was knit, this was dyed as a sock blank, and then she sells it in a cake, and the base is Saranac fingering. It's a 100% superwash merino single ply. And then I also bought the Helvellyn sock in the colorway Midnight, and this is 75-25 superwash BFL nylon. So I'm a huge fan of BFL fiber, as you guys know, and I bought these 2 and plan to pair it with a bear skein to make another Love You Baby, which the one that I have, I wear it a lot, so I'm really excited to make another one and be able to wear that too. My next purchase was from Natimia's, and she's also out of Virginia. Her Etsy shop is Natimia's BSM, and I think that stands for Beaded Stitch Markers. And I got 2 pairs of stitch markers. One of them was for my sister, but I forgot to give it to her before she left. So I purchased this set of stitch markers, as well as this set. So they're almost the same, and because I knew that she would like them because they were pink, and so I was just gonna let her pick whichever one she preferred, and I'll give those to her next time I see her. I also picked up this enamel pin by Shelly Can, and I picked this up from Project Knitwell. What Project Knitwell does is they go to various centers, local centers, such as hospitals, psychiatric centers. They also work with at-risk teens, it says, those affected by housing insecurity, and they do knitting classes, and yeah, and they do knitting classes for these groups of people in the in the DC area. So that I think I really enjoyed their story. And so if you are local to the DMV and looking for an organization to participate in or donate to, definitely check them out. So I picked up this pin because it was cute, and part of the proceeds were going to Project Knitwell. My last acquisition is from Solitude Wool, and the yarn that they do is focused on specific breeds. So they probably had at least six different breeds, yarn from at least 6 different breeds. So I thought that was cool. This is yarn from a local farm in Virginia, and it's their Border Luster Fog. It's their Border Luster, and I think the colorway is Fog. And so this is what it is. It's very lofty and fluffy, and what I plan to make with it is a cowl called Debbie's Easy Cowl. And so it holds 2 strands of this yarn together, uses size 19 needles, which is what I'm using on my Igbo cardigan, and it's just a stockinette stitch cowl, and it's pretty simple. So I'm going to make that with this. I thought it would be nice because it would be warm and soft, but also neutral, and I wouldn't have to worry about makeup getting on it because it's already brown. So I picked that up, and they had a cute little picture. I assume that this is the sheep that it came from, because on the white one they had a white sheep, but I'm not sure if it's just a generic Border Luster sheep. So yeah, those are my acquisitions today, as if I need more yarn to not really have time to knit with. So that's exciting. The giveaway for this week for our previous pattern of the week, the person who won that is Mark SMC Valerie on Instagram, and she's Mark as Valerie on Ravelry. So I will be sending that out to her shortly. I did look that up, but I am completely blanking. I think it's called Linear Stripes. I'm completely blanking on the name of the shawls. I'm pretty sure it was Linear Stripes by Zandy Peters, but I will add it in as a title and show you guys the image again. I have not gone through and gotten permission and approved a pattern of the week for this week just yet, because it's just Tuesday this week. And so once I do that, I will upload that on my Instagram. And so if you guys are interested in that, definitely check that out. As always, definitely check that out. I try to recommend patterns that work really well with fully spun yarn, because it is a sort of self-striping gradient, creates a self-striping gradient in the finished product. Sometimes that can be hard to visualize or select a pattern to use it with. So I try to help you guys out with that process. And the sort of backlog of all the previous recommended patterns of the week is up on Ravelry in the group for Fully Spun. I recently had a shop update with some additional skeins of fingering weight yarn. It's just a small update. There will be a big update at the end of mid-September with a lot of yarn and a lot of colorways, both fingering, worsted, and super bulky. And then in October, I will have another big update, this time with some new, probably with mostly new colorways. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's really exciting as I am able to grow and able to have more things available. It's really fun and a really great process. So wish me luck as I'm dyeing a whole bunch of yarn over the next couple weeks, that all of that goes smoothly. And I look forward to chatting with you guys next time. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more craft and lifestyle videos from me, definitely hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.